this isn't the same video. The other one was cut short early, but this is the next one. Anyway, let's go. The first thing I do when I go into pad, look around and just look at something to pick it up. I'd be like, analyse it for me if I had a bunch of researchers, or just do it myself. What's this pen made of? Metal. Okay, that's nice, it's durable. Is metal becoming a limited resources? Yes. Does it have to be metal? No. Can we find materials that can be grown sustainably to make these? Yes, then make it out of those. But a metal pen's nice. Yeah, so is having water. And there's going to be people being born all the time, and houses being built, and the pipes are needed to give them water. Or do you want a nice pen? Or do you want to just starve someone of water? Or transportation? Or cause the price of that item to rise and make it hard for anyone else to get in touch because you want a nice pen? Fuck off. Next thing, I've got quite interesting things here. Let's get this glass ball. What's it made of? Right, I think it was specifically advertised as a crystal ball, which means it has to have a certain percentage of carbon in it for it to be classed as a crystal. How was it made? Where was it made? Is it a resource that can be reintegrated into the world, into the soil in the next few thousand years? Let's do 1,000 years, because we're going to start living, let's say, 500 years. And then as humans start living longer, we'll say longer. How long does it take to degrade, biodegrade? That's it, the simple thing. Of course, biodegrade, yeah, that's the word you use. Anyway, do I need it? What do I use it for? I'm supposed to use it for spiritual stuff, but it's just an ornament at this rate. What is the tolerance? What should the tolerance be for the amount of carbon emissions this causes? It's a sham. The world has been getting hotter and colder and having greater levels of carbon dioxide and then really low levels before humans evolved into humans. Right, this is where it gets deep. So, water's common. Why is water common? Well, for starts, each element has its own rates, its probability of being somewhere. And the most common elements in the universe are hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, and oxygen. Yeah, H2O. Yeah, water's H2O. And that is everywhere. Okay, what would the equivalent of that be for the rest of those 4 common elements? Well, there's carbon and hydrogen. They make hydrocarbons, and they make fuel. But that's not infinite. Sorry. I thought it was the most common elements in the universe. Why is there so much water, but no petroleum? What doesn't help is that water can be completely recycled, like through the sun, evaporation, filtration. But the hydrocarbons are put into plastic form, which I don't really get. They're just bonded more together. Plastics. And some you can burn and some you can't. Some you can melt and some burn. Well, first of all, the first thing we can do is make every single plastic that burns before melts into a meltable plastic. What are the first problems that arise from that? Foods that need heating and warming up. Get a dish. Get a dish and slide the food into that. Yeah, but it's all messy like that. Be grateful you're being fed, first of all. And don't worry, we'll just make a different design. We'll have 2 little slots at the bottom. And the plastic will melt if it's heated. But when you get it, you're going to slide them apart really quickly. And that way your food goes like that into the nice little dish you've got. That can be reused as many times. And put in the oven. Done. Every single bit of burnable plastic used for food. Done. Problem solved. How we get that? Oh, you have to have a massive business. You have to have loads of money and eyes and TV screens everywhere and sharing stuff and sharing opinions with people. Oh, why wasn't this done in the first place? Who's going to do it? Not me, because I'm too busy distracted playing Fortnite and watching YouTube and trying to get a job and trying to make sure I can actually live for the next day. For saying that humans can only go, 3 days without food and, no, about 7 days without food and, 3 days without water. We shouldn't be living nowhere near that limit. There should always be, in every single person's hands, enough food to last longer than that period and provide food for them for that period. Let's say 3 days for food. You should always have at least, I'd say, let's be optimistic, let's say 13 days, 10 days after it, you should always have enough food or availability in any supermarket or superstore in any local area to sustain everyone within that area with an equal proportional amount of food for 10 days. 10 days. If the whole world went to shit, in the whole of Derby, and all the supermarkets should have the ability and infrastructure to distribute all this food equally, proportionally, and feed every single person in the city for 10 days. For 10 days, and by 10 days, people can start getting their heads together, being like, okay, this grows, that grows, we'll get those plants in the ground, get this, hopefully whatever problems that have arisen then will be sorted. For now, for 10 days, that's a good aim, really, but how's that going to get through Parliament? How's that going to be integrated into the structure we already have? Because people don't have the time nor the money to do their own things or change the world in their own little unique way, because it's ran by other people. Oh, I want to send my very expensive cars to a showroom and it costs so much that I could pay for 100 people's salaries for 3 years. I could buy someone a house fully, 2, 3 if they were actually priced right. Pardon me. Ugh. Because of these fancy cars. Because do people not have the proper forwards-reaching sight? No, because life's short and we're all going to die eventually. What a way to go. Oh, the reason I'm passionate is because I plan on having kids. And I've suffered and I know what suffering's like. Emotional as well as physical. Emotional's more than enough, please. Okay. People who've discovered physical pain. Yeah, it's hard, I know, and I'm never going to understand to a certain degree, but mental is excruciating hard. Where was I getting with this? Yes, and I want kids, and that care emphasises through me into the world. What world do I want my kids in? But then, let's say half the population doesn't want kids. What are they going to do? Do they care? How much do they care? Or does there have to be a child starving or hurting because of what they're wearing? Or do they just not care? Then what about other cultures that come in and their families? They promote very big families and they help each other out monetarily and can support these massive families. What virtues get passed down through them? Because it takes time to get a brain like this. It also takes time to extrapolate money out of the system and set yourself up pretty good. So by the time I would extrapolate enough money out of the system, all my personality's died and gone and been buried because I've been trying to get money. So then I raise kids. I'm not raising kids. My tired, depressed self in 10 years' time is raising kids. Not this. No. So then what's the opposite? I'll stay like this and just have 1 or 2 kids. So I can only just take care of them and they'll get the full me. Well, they won't get the full me because they're not for themselves. I'm not for myself. I won't get enough food in my belly. If they don't have enough food... You got yourself into a right pickle. Oh, we evolved agriculture. So now we're in a country where most of the food is exported from a different country. And we have the audacity to have opinions about these other people. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Then all of a sudden we start backstabbing and be like, no, do this first, and then you'll get fed. Cunt. Ratios, percentages, land mass. No, not land mass. Workable land, weather, water, rain, measure it, food, nutrients, closed systems of recycling of materials, clean energy. They've made clean energy. Come on. Come on. Do you think they told you about the torturing devices and mustard gas and... Right. If your countries have been at war and they've hidden things from each other, why do you think they wouldn't hide things from you? A parent hides stuff from the kids. Your government hides stuff. Accept the possibility. Anyway, measure the amount of workable land, the amount of infrastructure through it for the massive plants and food that get grown on it. The most common ones, self-sustaining domes that can support biomes for food outside of the country. Get a little bit everywhere and put it in your country. Little bits of biomes, different things. Make them out of a sustainable material. I don't know if glass is sustainable. Glass is sand, is silica. Plenty of sand. There's not, I don't... stone, how much stone is there? You'd literally need to just wipe the earth clean and then organise all the resources. You need a closed biological loop system or chemical reaction system. That's what you need. And apparently that's impossible because there's no such thing as free energy. What goes in will come out unless we can harvest energy from an extra dimension. Either way, it's being parasitical to something. It's leeching off something, whether it's the energy of the sun, but, it lives so long that we don't actually give a shit about it. Like the nits, if I have nits in my hair. Oh, where do we get the blood from? It's this thing called the scalp. It's been here for billions and billions of years, and it's going to last billions and billions of years, so we don't need to worry about it, and we'll keep sucking the blood out of it. All of a sudden, 5 billion generations down the line, I die of old age. If the nits are still there. That's saying I have any. I don't worry. They drive me mad. I can't have any. I don't let it happen. Same thing with the sun. It's quite scary if you're in a ball floating around. Most of everything is nothing, and you think you can't find some sort of extra dimensional system to draw energy from. Really? Really? Box of space, ratio of physical matter, that. And we're just peeking beyond to this next pixel. Physical matter, extra physical matter, what makes up our own physical matter. That's how much of everything else there is. Electromagnetic waves, scalar waves, antimatter, dark matter. There's definitely going to be more systems out there. And let's get to flat Earth. First of all, I'm disappointed that I've got to the state of thinking, is the Earth actually flat? And now came to the conclusion. Why could I not, before we address that situation, let's address the one where if I was to think any differently than what was indoctrinated by me through school and TV so much, I forgot the beginning of that, so I don't know how to word that, but now, anyway, I grew up in a world, I question stuff and think it's something else. First thing happens, I get looked down upon. You think what? Why do you think that? So you're not emotionally mature enough to have a conversation to do that, and you think I'm going to even trust your view of it if you can't communicate and show respect? Honestly. There's one silly reason I have that I always tell everybody so they can just be like, oh, stupid, and just leave me alone. Interrupt me all the time, get in my business. I don't like being upside down. Sometimes when I've been upside down, if I'm in a frame of mind and I sit on a bench, my feet are facing there and there's an open sky, can't stand it. All I know is feet fall. Fall is that way. If I turn upside down, there's an open sky, and I think or know there's nothing out there and it's a vacuum, that there's constant pressure pulling on us, even though pressurized systems have to be contained, usually, a canister, your spray can, you don't just magically have this air denser and this air lighter. Oh, gravity, what is gravity? What is gravity? No, what is gravity? What is magnetism? The attraction charge, what is gravity? Density does the same. Just like thermal liquids, the higher the energy, the more vibration put into it, the more space it needs, so it moves to a space where there's more space. Liquid water, heat it up. I want to dance so much, this particle wants to move out so much, it goes into the air because there's loads of room in the air. It comes out the air, it becomes steam. So if you then get mass and everything's vibrating and it's not actually physically there, so it's like a hologram of flashing pixels, the pixels that flash the most go to the darker dance rooms. Or to more space. So they go up. Why up? Why that way? Why that way? It can't. It just doesn't make sense. If the Earth's round and it's a vacuum of outer space and we're supposed to be in a pressurized system. Oh, I think I get why it would work. The ionosphere. The electromagnetic field attracts and repels charges of gas molecules in the air, and that literally creates an air barrier around the Earth. Wow, that means there must be a lot of metal or magnetism holding all of those in there. Oh, I've just solved it, round Earth, done for you. So it's not gravity. Yay, I just solved round Earth. I gave an excuse for it. Yeah, magnetism for the things in the sky. It's not gravity though, is it? No. It's magnetic and dielectric currents and fields. But what about stuff with neutral charge? What I think, law of resonation. Every particle has its own vibration. It's shaking at a certain amount or flashing in and out of existence spontaneously so many times we don't even know about it. They try and go together. Resonation. There's loads of light particles up there. So any light particles that are going to be down here are going to move that way because it's closer. And there's loads of heavy particles there. That's it, done. Then imagine a planet through space. There's loads of heavy particles here. Heavy. These resonate the same. So it pulls them, but no. This planet's made out of metal. This planet's made out of water. The water's not going to go to this one because it's not the same. It doesn't resonate. It's going to stay at a perfect distance away from it. If this is the maximum and the minimum's air over there, the water's going to be halfway in the middle because of laws of resonation. Done. Resonation, but instead of sound and magnetism, it's the actual consciousness of matter. It is here, an atom. But imagine the frame rate is so slow. Every time I open my hands, it's there. So it just looks like a hand that glimmers, fidgets and moves. This is an atom. What it's actually doing, bang, in existence, out of existence, in existence, out of existence. Or it's all a portal. It's a portal. You're supposed to have pinpoint particles theory in the middle of them. One dimensionality. 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's here in the 3D. Then it disappears and it's in the 4th dimension, 5th dimension, 6th dimension, 7th dimension, 8, 9, blah, blah, blah. Speed of God knows what. And then it goes all the way back down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Then we see it here. And it goes 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But all that's spinning so fast. It flashes 3D, now it's in 3D, now it's not, now it's in 3D, now it's not, now it's in 3D, now it's not, and then you all you see is that. This atom. Mental. It's also atoms and elements have been measured by the photon refraction off them to find the frequency, and it made a spiral or an octave, just like music and notes. That is the thing. It always keeps going. It keeps going exponentially infinitely to a point where it extends out of the spectrum of your awareness. You can see these colours. There are more colours that you can't see. There is this physical matter, and there is physical matter you can't see. That isn't physical to you. It's not. It's visible. It's not visible. It's physical. It's not physical. Does it mean it's there? Does it mean it's not there? No. We know there's light beyond there. So why do we not assume there's physical matter beyond there as well? In that case, how do we transcend this? What is it like? It's all interaction with each other. How they all interact with each other. Would it be better to be... Now, you go high vibrational. You'd think higher, but that gets you into elements like air and ethereal light stuff. But wouldn't more efficient... Something leaning towards silica-based life form. Like if you go carbon down 1, take all of them down a notch at the same ratios to the electrons and the chemical reactions. The world can still work the same, but different. Like if you got absolutely every ratio, so every time you got a carbon bit of DNA, enzyme like this, took a picture of everything, phased it down by 1, would everything still work? This enzyme had carbon react with this, move it down, now it's silica reacting with this. Still the same ratios, proportions, surely. But no, then you've got the problem of noble gases, but I don't think noble gases are intimately in DNA. I think I'm going to have to go. Choo-choo.